there's a lot of people out there sharing philosophy and things that we need to do, and it's kind of a little bit sort of overwhelming at times because it's like, well, what do I do? Do you have some specific concrete suggestions that people can, action steps or things that people can do to move in that direction?
Well, yeah, the concrete aspect of it makes people think concrete means thinking small and narrow. I'm going to clean up this sidewalk, or I'm going to fix this stream, or things like that, and that's fine. But the kind of concrete that I'm talking about is on a much larger scale, and the concrete of how do you create a society that we can all live in. The work that I was doing in Sri Lanka some years ago with the organization Sarvodaya, we were working toward the creation of a people's constitution, and this had some very definite steps to it. The first step was we did what was called people's peace tables, and we would get all of the different groups together to talk directly, face to face to each other. Most of the time they talk to each other through the media, but the face to face with each other. And we asked them some very positive questions. How do you see society? What are the kinds of problems that you see, etc.? They were all seeing exactly the same problems. They were all seeing exactly the same solutions. We took the solutions that they had and mushed them together into a document that we called the Vision Declaration. There were no leaders involved in this. This was just regular people on the streets. And the things that they said in the Vision Declaration was just absolutely amazing. Things like, we don't know what's happening in our own government, because in our own society, because both the government and the media skews things. That we believe that it all has to happen and start with each of us. That we have to create a society of respect, et cetera, et cetera. We took that declaration, made 1 million copies of it in 3 languages, and crop dusted the island with it. The next step in that process was to convene a people's constitutional assembly based on the Vision Declaration to actually get, again, regular people, not leaders, together to say, how do we implement this in terms of the way that we want to live a society? Well, we never got around to doing that because the government and the Tamil Tigers went back to war. And the reason I believe they went back to war, we had worked to do a ceasefire that lasted 6 years or so. But the reason they went back to war, I believe, is that they saw that if the people were actually leading, we had no more need for the warlike government or the warlike tigers. And this, I think, is a real possibility and a real concrete thing that we can do. Thomas Jefferson believed that there should be a new constitution every 20 years. He said that every generation should have the opportunity to write its own constitution, which means we're 230 some odd years overdue for doing this. And nobody wants to do that because no one trusts we, the people, enough to say, let's open the doors and see what we come up with. And I think that it's time for us to get our basic operating philosophy in gear. And I think at that point, we can then say, what is our common vision? And then what are the common steps we're going to take to that common vision? And that, I think, would be really interesting.
It would be fascinating because my belief is, I got to tell you, the founding fathers had no clue where the world was going to go, and the decisions they made and the basis of their of what they integrated into the Constitution was based upon what they could fathom in their mind, right? Well, if you were to say to, the founding fathers, there's going to be drones that fly around and drop bombs on people, they'd be like, what's a drone?
Exactly. And what do you mean by fly?
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Right.
Thanks, Reed. That was fabulous.
Yeah.